Before even graduating from high school, T. Morgan was on the air at WICK in Scranton. His athletic abilities brought him to Philadelphia, where he earned a full athletic scholarship to LaSalle University. Eventually, he was selected for the Pennsylvania Sports Hall of Fame in 1989. T. Morgan's first day on Philadelphia Broadcasting Radio began over 50 years ago. In August of 1967, T approached Philadelphia radio station WIFI and convinced them to experiment with a new format that soon became known as album-oriented rock radio. In 1968, Hylett took note of what Morgan was doing at Wi-Fi and hired him at WDAS-FM, decided to switch to the same format. He served as air personality, program director, and music director during his tenure at WDAS-FM. In 1972, Wibbage was sinking in the ratings with their battle with WFIL, so they hired T. Morgan to revise their format. He created another format called Rock Hits, and Wibbage launched a format that was dominated by singles from rock acts. Jerry Stevens hired T to work at WMMR. During his long stay at the album rock giant, Morgan did afternoons and eventually was also named program director to replace Jerry. His success got the attention of Arista Records. The legendary Clive Davis convinced Morgan to work for them in New York City in a management position. T also served as producer. Among the artists he worked with was the Philadelphia group called Thunder and Roses at the legendary Sigma Sound Studios. Philadelphia Weekly recently named the album as one of the top albums ever produced in Philadelphia. In the 80s, T jumped back into radio when he joined longtime rival station WISP and remained there throughout the 80s. In 1991, WMGK hired Morgan, and he can still be heard there some 26-plus years later. During his long career in radio, T. Morgan has won numerous awards for his programming and on-air performance, including the AFTRA Award for Most Creative Use of Radio. Besides his work in radio and records, T had his own newspaper column for 5 years and made several contributions to Philadelphia TV. He was the writer and researcher for the award-winning CBS special called The Sounds of Philadelphia that was produced right here at Channel 10. In addition, he and Hylett did a TV show called I Love Music. T has also written a book that tells it all called Confessions of a Teenage Disc Jockey. The broadcast pioneers of Philadelphia proudly induct T. Morgan into their Hall of Fame.
I know what you're thinking. This guy must be very excited to be in the Hall of Fame. He ran up here. Well, I'm excited and actually very honored to join the ranks of lots of people that I looked up to over the years. Some I didn't know personally, but thought I knew them just from listening to them on the air. It's quite an honor, and I'm happy to share it with a lot of people that are here today. I think that when you get an honor like this, it's kind of customary to, to thank a lot of people for all the years that they helped you along the way. But there are just too many people for me to really list them all, because I was very fortunate to have a lot of people that mentored me over the years and did a pretty good job of it. But I did want to single out a couple of people. One of them is not here tonight. He wanted to be here but couldn't make it. And the other person is here and is seated at one of my tables. The person that's not here was somebody that I listened to when I was a 15-year-old kid in Scranton, Pennsylvania, on a little 1,000-watt radio station. And I used to listen to him and think, wow. And I never dreamed that at any point in my life would I get a job at a radio station in Philadelphia, let alone be standing here as a member of the Hall of Fame. His name was Dick Summer. And some of you may be aware of him because his WBZ was heard over in the nighttime over 38 states. Well, he was on overnight, and I used to listen to him virtually every night. Not a good thing when you have to get up early in the morning to go to school. And as a result, I think I set a school record for the most number of consecutive latenesses. And the vice president brought me into the office, and I don't think he brought me in there to give me a medal for breaking the record. I ended up getting a detention, but it was worth it because I learned a lot from Dick Summer. And I was very fortunate a couple of years ago when I was writing my book to get in touch with him, and we are now actually very good friends, communicate 2 or 3 times a week. And he's just the kind of person I thought he always would be. The other person who is here tonight, I want to thank for putting up with me for many years as an absentee dad. Being a program director and air personality on the air, what happens frequently is you work 12 to 16 hours a day. and that means that your child gets neglected somewhat. And my child is over here, Veronica. She is now a very outstanding human being, a principal of a school, and I'm very proud of her. So thank you, Veronica. Now, the real reason that I came running up here, I have to tell you, the reason I ran up here, now you've seen a lot of Jerry today, and he's the heart and soul of Broadcast Pioneers. And he is in charge of many, many things. One of the most important is his dinner. He makes sure that it runs smoothly and quickly and run on time and things like that. And of course, people have a tendency to be long-winded. And he actually told me that the average time, and he figured this out, the average time it took a person to walk from whatever table they were at up here to the stage with 44 seconds. I said, hell, I used to run the 400 meters in less than that. I mean, I'm sure I could cut the average time down quite a bit. So that I ran up here to do that. I'll continue to keep the time short because I don't want to take up too much more of the time. There's lots of other presenters. But I did want to take the time to thank the Broadcast Pioneers for giving me this honor and congratulate the other members who are being inducted tonight, both those alive and those who are no longer with us. So thank you very much. Have a good night.